Alright, let's get it. Hey, what's up guys, Eva94 back with another action figure review, and today we are diving into the Hasbro Marvel Legends Ursa Major Build-A-Figure Wave. This is the Iron Man comic book series. And first up, we are looking at Ultron. The side art is very nice, very comic book. It's almost like it's a snapshot from the comic book itself, so I really dig the art on this entire wave. There it is on the back side as well. There's the rest of the wave. There are a lot of good figures in this wave with a very good build figure. Ursa Major, you can see right here. And the read up on the back for Ultron says, "Robot, maniacal genius, science experiment gone wrong. Ultron is the supreme weapon of mass destruction and a mortal threat to the Avengers and all humankind." So we are starting these reviews out with a banger. Our first classic take from Hasbro, finally. I guess if you want to count the one that came in the Iron Man Armored Avenger. Was that the one that came with the Ultron? That used the Titanium Man body? Actually, no, it was Iron Man 3 movie figures that came with Ultron, and they used the Titanium Man body mold on that. That was the last time we saw Ultron. And it was never, exactly what it should have been. So I'm glad they finally took this Iron Man wave as an excuse to release a proper Ultron. Before this release, I was leaning towards the Marvel Select Ultron because that was more comic accurate. But now, this one might take the throne. So here's a closer look at the Ultron head sculpt right here. And the torso, the whole body is a new body mold, of course. We got the nice pinless elbows and the pinless knees. Very good. There is the bottom. Got some thrusters there on the back side. We can see that the lettering now, the Hasbro printing and stuff, it's not actually printed. It's molded onto it, or sculpted onto the figure, so it kind of blends in. So that's pretty cool. I'd rather have that than a printed black wording, although the I think that might be the serial number that is printed right there, but it's very small. Something I do like about the figure is the paint job. I'm very happy that they went with a metallic paint job on it and not just a gray marbleized plastic like they've been doing for many years. This figure really needed to be painted this way, and I'm glad Hasbro went with the paint job they did. Very nice silver metallic color. Looks really good, pretty clean overall on this figure. We can see here that Ultron comes with a grabbing hand for the right and a open left hand. That's how he's packed in. Alternatively, you have the option to have a pair of fists. And then lastly, we have another grabbing hand, but this time it's for the left hand. So now you could put the right hand back on. You can have two grabbing hands or two fists, but there's only one open hand like that. And last but not least, for accessories for Ultron himself, we have the effect piece that goes into his mouth. You can see here it's painted yellowish, orange, red. Very nice. And there's a look at him with the effect piece in his mouth. Last but not least, we have the Ursa Major right arm for the Build-A-Figure. So on to the articulation of Ultron. He has his head sitting on a ball-jointed hinge. I really thought it was going to be a ball-jointed peg like they've been doing recently. I actually would have preferred that. But it's okay. We have that pretty extreme range of motion looking up, so that's good. And then looking down as well, about that much. And then left and right. We get a little bit of a head tilt right here, so not too bad. The arms are very similar to the Silver Centurion Iron Man that had those shoulder pads. It looks like you won't be able to swivel it or move it, but this is actually a separate piece that blends in very well, so it'll move the arm with it like that. And then in and out, we have the bicep swivel, double jointed pinless elbows, swivel at the wrist with a hinge at the wrist, of course. Diaphragm joint for the torso, so that swivels left and right, back and forward, tilts, good motion there. We have a waist swivel at the waist. Blends in pretty well with the lines sculpted on the figure, so that looks good. Legs are T-jointed. They go forward and back, in and out about that far. We have thigh swivels, again, blends in with the sculpt. Look at that. Very nicely done. Double jointed knees, pinless knees, of course. And then we have a blended in ankle slash shin swivel. we have an ankle rocker, and then an ankle hinge forward and back at the foot. So this is something I was looking forward to doing when I got this Ultron, and that is putting this head on this body. This is the head that randomly came packed with one of the retro vintage wave figures. That was I believe it was the Vision from wave 2 of the retro vintage wave, and it'll fit, but it is a very tight fit. It's almost barely fitting. It's really not meant for the body. It's actually a different sculpt. It looks similar, but it is not the same. So here is the new one on the right. There is the old, or I guess the randomly packed one on the left. Now this one has that effect in his mouth and eyes, which looks really cool, I do admit. But because of the size, it does look small on the body, and it doesn't really go well. So I'm going to have to lean towards the new one, of course, because that one does look better on this body. Even though it doesn't have those effects, we do get this effect that kind of makes up for that, you know, for not having it. So, you know. And again, here's a look at them side by side. Of course, the silver does not match completely. This one is that silver marbleized plastic. This is exactly what I was talking about. What this figure could have been was this right here, and I'm so happy that Hasbro went with the painted version instead. Alright, so here we go. Here is the Iron Man 3 Marvel Legends Wave Ultron on the right, next to our new and improved Ultron from the Ursa Major Wave on the left. There you can see the major differences there. Obviously this body just wasn't doing Ultron justice. And also, as you can see, the head sculpt on this figure is actually the same one that came packed in with that Vision from the vintage weight. So if you wanted to, you can swap these two without any issues. And then here's a figure I've actually had in my Marvel Legends display for a long time because it's our only comic book accurate classic looking Ultron until now. So it's the Marvel Select Diamond Select Ultron, which is a very good figure. It's very well done. It looks great. It's obviously out of scale though. If you want a bigger, taller Ultron, maybe you still want to use this one because you can see how tall and big he is. But if you want a smaller Ultron, then you can use the Marvel Legends version. I do like the paint job on the Marvel Legends ones for sure, and the articulation is better too. With that being said, this is not a bad figure still. And up next, I'll throw him next to the 80th anniversary Iron Man. I haven't reviewed any of the Iron Men in this wave yet, so can't really compare him next to him yet. But once I get to those reviews, I'll have Ultron in that comparison, so be sure to check those out. Then here's a look at him with our 80th anniversary Captain America. Alright guys, and there you have it. There's a look at the Hasbro Marvel Legends Classic Ultron from the Ursa Major Iron Man Classic Comic Book Wave. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this review. Stay tuned for the rest of the figures in this wave till we make it to the end and build our Build-A-Figure of Ursa Major. It's going to be great. Very excited and looking forward to that Build-A-Figure. So stay tuned for all that good stuff. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, and as always, have a great day.
That's crispy.